I'm really looking forward to hearing from our speaker. What a CV she has. The sports fan in me picks out that she's a champion dressage rider and a qualified ski instructor. But don't let that mask what she's achieved in business. It is a lot. She's founded, built and sold a telecoms company. She's authored and program managed multi-million-dollar winning proposals, and she's led a global content team at Dell. For the past 20 years, she's been researching what drives successful people. And today she shares with us why motivation matters more than talent. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Sophie Bennett.
Have you ever been at a crossroads in your life? A time when you didn't know whether to go to the left, to the right, whether you've been on the right road all along and has just missed the signs, or whether you should just keep ploughing straight ahead. Well, that's exactly where I find myself a couple of years ago, and somebody asked me a really intelligent question that helped me find my new direction, and I hope the question will help you identify where you're going next. What they asked was, instead of the usual question, which is, what are you going to do next? They asked, who do you want to do it with? That was a great question because in seconds I knew exactly who I wanted to spend my time with. I get really excited by being with people who are driven, who have high levels of motivation, who just bring that energy. You know the type of people, they walk into a room and even before they say anything, they light the place up, they bring an energy with them. They're the people I wanted to spend my time. And because I'm an author, I figured a great excuse to do it for a long time would be to write a book about them. So that's what I decided to do, write a book about driven people. What I didn't expect was the discovery that I made about motivation. And it came from a little trail of breadcrumbs, which started with a question that I asked all the people I interviewed. So these were 50 people who had been incredibly successful in all sorts of areas, in sports, in science, in the arts and in music, right across the board, and people successful in corporates and leaders too. The one question that stopped me in my tracks was this. I asked them all, when was it that you first realised that you were different to everybody else, that you were different from your peers, your family, your friends at school, your students, the people at work? And what absolutely knocked my socks off was the fact that everybody took me back to a singular memory of when they were between 8 and 12 or 13 years old. I hadn't expected it. And some of the people I interviewed were in their 20s, some were in their 50s, and some well into their 70s and beyond. What that showed me was that although we can have a type of motivation that we read about in books, if you've read Daniel Pink's Drive, an excellent book on motivation, which is a meta-study on many studies that have been done in universities around the world, he identifies 3 different types of drivers that help people stay motivated in the workplace. They are mastery, being able to pursue something that you get really good at. Autonomy, being able to make your own choices and decisions about who you work with, what you do and when you do it. And having a clear sense of purpose. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was between 8 and 12 years old, I didn't really think about mastering anything. I certainly didn't have a lot of autonomy. My parents told me what to do, my school teachers managed my daytimes. And in terms of a purpose, well, I didn't really get out of bed. What about you? Knowing exactly what my purpose in life was. I found that came later. So the answers to those questions that these incredibly successful people gave to me shone a light on almost what I thought of as the purest form of motivation, the one that comes from deep inside us all. The things that we most passionately want to do, the things we most passionately want to connect with. And what I discovered was it's not one thing. Motivation turned out to be 5 things. It was a group of feelings that people experience early on, that when you can decode it, turns out that they spend their entire life trying to repeat those positive feelings. Whether it's a feeling of escaping something that was difficult in their early childhood, or whether it was something that they were a winner maybe, and that gave them a real lift. We all try and reproduce the best things that happen to us. So what are the 5 motivation types?